The moment the eyes open, a quiet struggle begins. It happens before the body moves, before the day announces itself, before the world demands anything from you. In that instant, desire rises like mist. It asks for comfort, for delay, for softness. Most men listen without realizing they have listened. They call it rest, they call it harmless. They do not see that in this small obedience, authority is lost. The path to weakness does not begin with failure in battle, but with surrender at waking. I learned that if you allow desire to speak first, it will speak all day. It grows bold when answered early. It follows you into every decision, whispering excuses dressed as reason. When you rise before it gathers strength, you cut it off at the root. This is not cruelty to the body. It is clarity for the mind. The body seeks repetition, not purpose. If you do not command it, it will command you. Many believe discipline begins when hardship appears. They are mistaken. Discipline begins when there is no hardship at all, when the bed is warm, the air is quiet, and no one is watching. This is where truth lives. There is no enemy to blame, no obstacle to curse, only choice. The man who can choose correctly here will choose correctly when pressure arrives. Rising before desire is not about time, it is about hierarchy, who leads and who follows. When the mind leads, the body learns obedience. When the body leads, the mind becomes its servant. A servant mind makes excuses, a leading mind gives orders. This order must be established daily because neglect invites disorder. I never waited to feel ready. Readiness is a feeling that comes after action, not before it. If you wait for the body to agree, you will wait forever. The body respects consistency, not negotiation. Each morning you rise by command, you teach it a lesson it does not forget. Over time, resistance fades. What once felt heavy becomes natural. This is how mastery forms, quietly, without drama. Weak men ask what difference an hour makes. They ask because they have never ruled one. An hour ruled changes posture, it sharpens attention, it creates momentum that carries through the day. An hour surrendered invites chaos. The day then becomes a series of reactions, each one stealing a little more strength. There is a reason the early hour feels uncomfortable. It strips away illusion. There is no applause there, no distraction to hide behind, only breath, thought, and resolve. Many avoid this hour because it reveals how undisciplined they have become. They mistake avoidance for peace. It is not peace, it is delay. To rise before desire is to accept responsibility without complaint. It is to say, without words, that your life is yours to command. This decision echoes. When fear appears later, it remembers being ignored. When temptation appears, it finds less room to speak. The first victory teaches the mind that victory is possible. Do not misunderstand this rule. It is not hatred of rest. Rest has its place. But rest chosen consciously strengthens, rest taken by default weakens. The difference is decision. Wherever decision is absent, decay begins. In solitude, discipline is pure. No one sees it, no one rewards it. This removes ego from the act. What remains is alignment between intention and action. This alignment is rare. It is why so few sustain it. They want recognition for discipline, not understanding that discipline exists precisely where recognition does not. When you rise before desire, time feels different, not because there is more of it, but because none has been wasted. The mind is clean, the air is sharp, the world feels distant as if it has not yet claimed you. In this space, you can choose who you will be before the world tries to decide for you. Desire is not your enemy, it is fuel, but fuel must be controlled. Burned at the wrong time, it destroys. Burned deliberately, it drives. Starve it early, and later you may use it without being consumed by it. This is balance, this is command. The men who fail do not fail loudly, they fail quietly, one soft morning at a time. They intend to change later. Later never comes. The disciplined man understands that later is decided now. This rule appears simple. That is why it is ignored. Simplicity exposes unwillingness. There is no philosophy to hide behind here, no complexity to blame. You rise or you do not, you lead or you follow. Rise before desire wakes, and the rest of the day will follow you. After rising before desire, the next battle arrives quietly, almost politely. It is the battle for the morning itself. Many believe the morning belongs to them simply because they are awake. This is a mistake. The morning is contested ground. If you do not claim it deliberately, the world will arrive and take it without resistance. The world is impatient. It does not wait for you to be ready. It enters through sound, through light, through habit. A message vibrates, a screen glows, a voice from elsewhere demands attention. None of these are urgent, yet all pretend to be. The untrained man answers them instinctively, believing he is being responsible, believing he is being informed. In truth, he is being led. To command the morning is to delay reaction, not forever, only long enough to establish yourself as the one who decides. The first hour sets the posture of the mind. If that hour is surrendered to noise, the mind bends. A bent mind rarely straightens itself later. I learned early that clarity does not arrive after consumption. It arrives before it, before words enter the ears, before images occupy the eyes, before opinions invade the mind. Silence at dawn is not emptiness, it is space, and space is where intent can stand upright. Most men fear silence because it exposes them. In silence, excuses cannot hide, restlessness surfaces, unfinished thoughts rise. This discomfort is useful. It shows you where you lack order. If you rush to drown it with noise, you carry that disorder forward disguised but intact. The morning must be commanded through restraint, not through effort alone but through refusal. Refusal to scroll, refusal to react, refusal to allow the world's urgency to become your own. Urgency that is not chosen is weakness dressed as importance. There is a reason warriors train before dawn, not because dawn is magical but because it is uncontested. Few are awake, fewer still are disciplined. In this emptiness, action is clean, thought is precise, movement is intentional. When others are still dreaming, you are already aligned. Commanding the morning does not mean filling it with activity, it means selecting activity carefully. Breath before speech, movement before information, intention before instruction. When the body moves under your command, the mind follows. When the mind is centered, decisions sharpen. By the time the world arrives, it finds a structure, not chaos. Observe how the week morning unfolds. Wake, reach, consume, react. Rush, nothing is chosen, everything is triggered. They mistake stimulation for readiness. They enter the day already fragmented, wondering later why focus is difficult, why patience is thin, why anger rises easily. Strength is built by doing fewer things with greater control. One deliberate breath is worth more than 100 distracted thoughts. One controlled movement teaches more than hours of careless effort. The morning is not for proving, it is for preparing. I did not begin my days asking what I felt like doing. Feeling is a poor advisor at dawn. Feeling changes with comfort and fear. Purpose remains, purpose is remembered in stillness. That is why the morning must be protected from intrusion. Purpose whispers, noise shouts. The world will tell you that staying informed is strength. It is not. Discernment is strength. You do not need to know everything early, you need to know yourself early. Information can wait, alignment cannot. When you command the morning, time stretches, not because it slows but because it is uninterrupted. Fragmentation shortens time, focus expands it. This is why men who rush all day feel they have none of it, while disciplined men seem unhurried even under pressure. The body senses leadership. When you move without hesitation, it relaxes. When you hesitate, it tenses. A tense body tires quickly. A relaxed body endures. Morning discipline teaches the body to trust the mind. This trust is rare. It is built through consistency, not intensity. Many seek motivation in the morning. This search already reveals failure. Motivation follows clarity. When clarity is present, action is obvious. You do not need to be pushed to do what is clear. You only need to remove interference. Commanding the morning is also an act of respect. Respect for your craft, respect for your path, respect for the life you intend to build. If you allow strangers, systems, and screens to dictate your first thoughts, you signal that your direction is negotiable. This rule is not about isolation from the world but about timing your engagement with it. A sword is not drawn at all times, it is drawn when the moment demands it. To be constantly reactive is to swing blindly, to wait is to strike cleanly. I have seen skilled men lose their edge not because they lacked ability but because they surrendered their mornings. Over time, small intrusions compound, focus dulls, resolve softens, what was once sharp becomes scattered. They blame age, circumstance, fate. The cause was simpler. The morning must belong to training, reflection, and alignment. Training to remind the body of obedience, reflection to remind the mind of direction, alignment to ensure they move together. Without this, effort becomes waste. Do not underestimate how quickly the world enters once invited. One glance becomes 10, one message becomes many, each pulls a thread from your attention until nothing strong remains. Guarding the gate is easier than reclaiming the ground. There will be days when discipline feels heavy. On those days especially, command the morning. Weight builds strength, avoidance builds fragility. The morning is the forge, the rest of the day is merely the test. This practice is invisible to others, that is its power. There is no display, no announcement, only results that speak later when pressure arrives and you do not break. When the world finally enters your day, let it meet resistance, not hostility but structure. Let it encounter a man already in motion, already centered, already decided. Then noise becomes information, not distraction. Demands become tasks, not threats. Those who fail to command the morning spend their lives catching up. Those who do command it are always ahead, even when they appear still. Claim the morning before the world claims you.